Hi, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Great to see everybody here. Well, not actually, it'd be great to see everybody on a webinar, but we have, I don't know, close to 300 people registered to attend this. We'll see. We already have 40 people immediately, and people are joining every second. Welcome to the series of webinars from the Society for the Protection of Nature in Israel. Hi, Maggie, and please let us know who's on the webinar and where you're from. It's been a respite here over the summer. We usually do these every 2 weeks or so, but in the summer we slow down for summer vacation. We haven't had a webinar in I think a month. And with us tonight is Liron Shapira. We'll introduce him soon. It's been a what can I tell you? Busy, hot summer here. In many ways, hot in the streets and hot in the streets in many ways. Today it was 40 degrees in some places. I think hotter than that in the Jordan Valley, where we have a rewilded wetland site, Kfar Rupin, that many of you know about and some of you have visited. We welcome everybody there, but ideally not in midday on a day like today, where it was probably 42 degrees, I think, down there, which is, I don't know, offhand, 110 or something like that, Fahrenheit. Hi, everybody from all these places that you're calling in from, writing in from. I'm not sure what Canopy, Florida is, but New Jersey and Michigan and Toronto and Newton and Ocean Pines, Maryland sounds lovely. Connecticut, where you're from in Connecticut. I'm a native of Connecticut myself. With us today is David Amichai, David in his home in Jerusalem. He'll be doing back office as usual. Liron is coming to us, I assume, from his home this evening, 8 p.m. Israel time. We'll find out where Liron's home actually is. I assume and hope it's in the north of Israel, since that's where he works. I'm in Tel Aviv, and want to just thank everybody for joining us. Coming back, yes, high in Ashkelon, 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you, Zev. Yes, that's probably over 42. I don't know offhand, but it's warm and humid. So it's not like we have that dry heat like in Phoenix. It has these temperatures, but it's literally like soup out here in the Saturday evenings here in Israel, and every evening these days. And it's still early August, so we have more ahead of us, and it's still early in the Anthropocene era, the era that where man's mark on nature is becoming actually something to be etched into the geological epochs. The Anthropocene, which begins maybe around the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, when the climate really started to take off. Anyway, we're getting close to it's time to begin. We already have over 100 people joined with us, and I assume we're live on Facebook. Yes, we are. I don't know how many people are with us on Facebook, but welcome everybody. Welcome from all the places you're coming in from. Keep the chats coming if you have things to say, and if you have questions for Liron during his talk, he'll be giving a presentation and then taking questions afterwards. Please write them in the Q&A feature on Zoom. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I especially want to thank our hardworking board members, volunteers in the United States and Canada and the UK, keeping going our affiliate organizations in those countries. And we're appreciative very much of everybody's efforts. Welcome everybody to visit. We have a trip coming up in November. I think we might have a couple of places left. And next year, 2024, we're going to have trips probably in March, June, and November. We'll keep you posted on our website very soon. And if you're coming on your own, let us know. Please contact David or I. You know how to get a hold of us. And let us know that you're coming, and we will show you some behind-the-scenes nature visits. Maybe you even can meet Liron up north somewhere, and he can show you some of the tricks of the trade in the field. And I think with that, no further ado, we'll introduce Liron Shapira. Hello, Liron. Welcome.
Hi. Good evening. Good morning, wherever you are.
Yes, exactly. It's morning on the West Coast and noon on the East Coast in the States, and all points of the globe, as you can see from our chat. Wow, it's going to be an interesting. I mean, there's so much to talk about in terms of nature, the nature protection that we do, and we talk about that a lot. Hardcore, the nature protection of the seas and deforestation policy, and we've talked about education on these webinars. And of course, we've seen nature photography in the field. Alan and Jonathan Meirav and Noam often do birding webinars for us every season, every migration season, and we see some live photos, but the behind the scenes and what we're doing here, this is interesting, new, unique. I'm personally very excited about it. So thank you very much for being here and enlightening us and sharing with us your knowledge and experience about nature photography and nature videography, I believe, too. Thanks, Liron, for being here. Let us tell us. You know, you're the Northern Region Director for Nature Protection in SPNI. I know that you sit on planning committees and you're out in the field and you're working with local groups on different campaigns to mitigate problems. What's a day like in the life of a Northern Region coordinator of our nature protection?
Well, I think I really don't have routine life or routine week or routine days. Last night I just came back from a safari in Africa. I'm guiding safaris in Africa from time to time.
Wow, where were you?
In Tanzania and Zanzibar.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have any pictures from there?
Yeah, some.
Oh, great.
Some. So today I was trying to catch up with all the mails that I had and all the phone calls and all the things and documents and we had in the week that I was in vacation. And there's things that we sent to the Supreme Court now about the Golan Heights, the wind turbines, other things that had to be sent today and had to be taken care of. Tomorrow I'm in the planning committee. One of the major things that I do is representing the environment organizations in the Northern District Planning Committee, which is the committee that is dealing with every development and conservancy issues in the Northern District, which is I guess most of you know Israel, so you can imagine from the city of Akko, north of Haifa, all the way to Rosh Hanikra, to the Lebanese border, all the way to the Mount Hermon, Golan Heights, go back to the Jordan Valley, Gilboa Mountain, and circle the whole northern district, northern region of Israel, which is big and a lot of population and a lot of nature values, nature reserves, Sea of Galilee, Mount Hermon, Achziv, Betzet, the shores of the Mediterranean. So it's a lot
of territory.
Yeah, and it's also the busiest district in Israel concerning development and conflicts between development and nature values. For example, in Tel Aviv, there's more construction, but the conflicts are much less because there's hardly nature. Okay, there's
right.
City parks, but not nature. So
right, and because we're trying to actually build dense, sustainable cities in order to protect the open spaces in the north of Israel.
Right.
My daughter lives on Kibbutz Sol, and I see the battles that go on up in that area.
So the planning committee of the Northern District has smaller committees that work within it, and I'm a member of a couple of them too. So tomorrow I have a full day of discussions in a committee that deals with objections to plans.
Wow.
Okay, so if the district committee decide to promote something and somebody oppose that, he come to a smaller committee that deals with the rejections. And then we need to decide what to do with it. After us, they go to court.
We really need, and we're planning to do, we haven't scheduled yet our webinar on the whole planning process. It's really so much of the heart of what we do.
Yeah.
And most Israelis don't even really understand it. It's different in every country, but in Israel, it's really the crux of the matter in so many ways. Land use planning.
It's very complicated. It's a
lot of interests. So, Liron, just quickly, how long have you been in the Chevra, and what's your background before you were in?
Okay, so I've been for a long time. I've been in the environment business, managing environment units from of some kinds. I have a first degree from University of Haifa in geography and the study of the land of Israel, and a second degree in management and nature resources. So also from University of Haifa. On top of that, I did all kinds of professional courses and so on. And in this particular job, I think now it's in November, it will be almost 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's get to it. I know I'm excited to see what you want to share. So please take it away. And
okay, so
we'll meet 10 minutes before the hour's up, and I'll ask you questions or whenever you finish.
So
Thanks.
I will share with you, I think maybe the major hobby that I have, which is nature photography. I grew up in a house that nature was the major thing. I preferred to go out to the wild than to play football or basketball or whatever. So I can say that I always had the nature in my heart, and I'm photographing for many years, but in the recent years, this hobby became very intensive, and also now I do it with the professional gear, and I really do it because it's a hobby and something that I enjoy to do. I never meant that it would be or it will develop to what it becomes in all kinds of publications and forums and the Society for Nature Photography in Israel, which I'm in the management of that, and it really became very big. And I didn't meant that in the beginning. I really did that, and I'm still doing it because I love nature and I love to photograph. And for me, the adventure is the main thing. So I will share with you the things I do and some of the things I saw. And I hope you will enjoy. And if you want to ask questions, so please feel free. So I think if you ask someone who is a nature photographer, or he likes to photograph nature, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a profession, what is he looking for in this activity that he does? Some people are looking for their goal is to create the perfect picture. Some people doing that for a living, so they need to sell pictures. They need to be in the right places all the time. But for me, my question is if it's possible to make people, or to make someone who look at the picture to feel something. And I think this is one of the interesting questions, if it's possible, because a camera is, is electronics, is glass, is optics, and basically, how can you make someone feel something just because he see a picture that was taken through glass and sensors and so on? So for me, this is the major question or major goal. So I will show you some pictures and try to see if you feel something. So this is a Jordan Sparrow in the Jordan Valley. All the pictures that you see here from the northern part of Israel. The male is eating oat in the bushes. You see there's green, there's yellow. These are two fellow deers in the Upper Galilee. I was looking for them. Actually, it was a rainy day, and I was looking for them, and I came across a group of males. And you see on the left that is a mature male, and on the right is a young male. So you see that what they do is they don't really fight. They test each other. The big male knows that he's stronger, and the small male knows that he's weaker. So it's not really a fight. And you see their eyes are closed because the protection from the horns. And when I see that, or when we see a thing like that, it's I think they are aware of themselves, something that we think that it's a privilege of human beings, but animals also aware of themselves, because in order for the big one to know that he is stronger, so it means that he need to have some kind of valuation about himself and evaluation of his opponent. Of course, these are human terms. These are terms that we use, but we don't have a choice. We need to use something. So, and I think in this picture, you can see that this awareness that they have. This is a picture from Hula Valley. There's a project there that it used to be a lake and a swamp that was drained out in the 50s, in the mid 50s in Israel. And in the morning, you see the swamp vegetation with the sunlight and the fog. And it gives you a special color that you can see here. And it's a kind of atmosphere, or a kind of feeling that you get when you see that. Let's see another one. See, the sun is rising, but the Hula Valley is under the Golan Heights and it's low. And because it's low, many times in the morning, there's fog, there's clouds. So you see this yellow color of the sun through the clouds, and it makes a very unique colors. And when you're there, and I hope that when we look at the picture, we feel something that make us think or feel. This picture is, this is a mountain gazelle. It's in the Gilboa mountain. It's not far away from the Jordan Valley, south to the Sea of Galilee. Here, there was a very hot day last year, just like today, more than 40 degrees. It's a very warm place, the Jordan Valley. And I was sitting in a hide, waiting for gazelles. And this male came to me, and what you see in his position means that he sees something. He doesn't see me because I'm hiding in the hide, but he sees something that he recognized that is not right, or something that he doesn't recognize in the environment. And he's getting closer to check it out. And he is raising his head and his ears from the field in order to look at me and try to find out what it is. And in this moment, I was taking the picture. So I think you can see in his on his face, on his body, the tension or the alert that he's in, trying to understand what is the strange thing that is new in his environment, in his home. This is a totally different picture. Taken in the Golan Heights this year during the snow. What you see here is a silhouette of a cow in the snow. And in this picture, my aim was that the people who would look at the picture would feel the cold, or would feel the climate of the Golan Heights, or the freezing cold because of the snow. This picture is also from snowy Golan Heights 2 years ago. And it's really, you know, Israel is unique in the world in climate zones and geological diversity and diversity of species and biology, because in less than 500 kilometers, you have the subalpine climate in the Golan Heights and the extreme desert in Eilat, and the Syrian African fault, which is the Hula Valley, Sea of Galilee, and the Dead Sea, and also Mediterranean woodland, and some more climate zones, all in a very small place. And it's the only place on Earth that we have this diversity. So you can see that. So this is an Israeli viper. And I think a lot of people, when they see a snake, they have a certain reaction, fear, maybe they discuss from it, maybe they're afraid of it, maybe they want to run. So snakes make us feel all kinds of things, usually not positive. So this is the middle of the body of the Israeli viper, Palestine Viper. You don't see the head and you don't see the tail, but still you feel something, I think. Most people feel something when they see a snake. This snake was caught. I caught him in the settlement and released him in the woods and taking picture while in the process. This is reed in the Hula Valley in sunrise, and you see the golden color of the sun on the reeds. It's like a curtain or like something. We have some couple of minutes of gold light like that in the morning, and usually it is the best light to take a picture. Another thing that we have in the morning is what we call the blue hour. There is like maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, maybe less, while the sun coming up, things become blue. So you can see the sky, the mountains, and the water are all blue. And you can see the trees and the reflection of the trees, and also the fog. And I think that when we look at the picture like that, with colors like that, it makes us feel maybe something, maybe something is calm, tranquil, or something like that. Everything is quiet. Nothing moves, no wind at all. These are horns of fellow deer. By the way, those deers are natural, what used to be natural in Israel, but they were extinct by hunting. And there was, in the 20th century, just before the revolution in Iran, they found a small herd of it's not the same, it's not exactly the same species, but it's a close species. And the last plane, the last Israeli plane, or even last Western plane that left Iran, they brought some of the deers to Israel to try to reintroduce them to nature. And now we have over 200 living in the wild, in the Galilee, mostly in the Galilee, some around Jerusalem. And still, a lot of people don't believe that a picture like this can be taken in Israel, because deers are not connected to Israel in the minds of people. And so sometimes I think it's interesting to see a part of the animal close to something in nature, like a tree or something like that. And that's what I try to do in this picture. Okay, you know this creature, I hope. It's in the Gilboa mountain. It's about maybe 15 centimeters long. And in one of the things that we try to do when we take pictures of animals, we try to be in the line of their body or eyes. So in order to do that with an insect or something, a snake maybe, you need to lie down and to be in their line or in their height. And when you do that, you have an interesting outcome. So I hope that you can see that.
Oh, and if I may, in English, we have millipedes and centipedes.
Okay.
Those that have theoretically 1,000 legs or 100 legs. I don't think those are accurate descriptions, but do you know which this is?
Yeah.
We have those two kinds in Israel too.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. This is a mongoose. The only species of mongoose that we have in Israel. This is she's active during the day. She's not nocturnal. They're not so shy, but they don't like to be close to people so much. Very wild, very aggressive. They can be very aggressive. But they some of them live inside the settlements because they find food, they find shelter and food, and they have a nice, they can do really good even inside the settlement, in a kibbutz, in the city. They have plenty of food, they can eat rat, they can eat snakes. Here, this is a photo I took in the spring by the fish ponds in Gazelle Valley. I stood there quietly and they looked at me a little bit, and then they saw I don't do anything, and it just did what they do. So I took some pictures. Many times I photograph from a car. You know that animals, most of the animals are afraid from people. And it's interesting, it's an instinct that they have. When you're inside a car or inside a hide, and I will show you some pictures soon, so they don't afraid. They usually don't separate us from the bigger body of the car or the hide or whatever. You can and also you can just lay down on the ground with a net above your body, and it's enough. Once they don't see your eyes, they don't see your intentions. Many times they just look at you, try to understand what it is. If you don't do anything that spook them, they just go back to normal life. So most of the time, that's what I do. I need to find a way to get close to them and without frightening them. An animal like mongoose, if you go out of the car, it immediately disappears. So it's not, they're very common in Israel, but it's not so easy to photograph like that in midday with full light from close range, because they usually don't let you get close to them. So this is a totally different picture. I think we can see the white waves, the white waves of the sea with the wind and what we call foam. Okay, the bubbles. And the rocks are black. So there is contrast in this picture that the eye the eye is for the eye, it's she can deal with it. Okay, a lot of pictures. The eye wants to it doesn't want, but the eye feels calm if there's not so much conflict or contrast between the colors. But in this picture, in this kind of picture, the eye can, or our mind through the eye can feel okay, even that despite that the rock is black and the sea is white. Okay, it's a situation that the contrast is acceptable by the eye and the mind. And I think you can feel the power of the waves. It's like almost a motion. It's almost that they're moving, and the rock is very solid and the opposite color. So sometimes it is okay. Now a very different picture. That something very, very different. So I think when we look at this kind of picture, we see something very calm. We see something very, very nice, very cute. Okay, small animals. We like small things. We like ospreys of ourselves, of other animals. The water is calm. Nothing is, there's no power here. There's nothing is moving here. It's like something very, very gentle. So the French painter, Edgar Degas, said that art is not what you see, but what you make others to see. And I think it's true. For me, when I take the picture, I have some kind of adventure or some kind of memory of a situation that I took part in. But other people, when they see the picture, they weren't with me during the event, and they look at the picture after that, and they think sometimes totally different things and interesting things. And I will show you some pictures, some examples. So this picture I took, you know, when you have a fish pond, and when they take out the fish from the pond to sell them. So on the left is carp, and on the right is St. Peter's fish. So they have like a machine. They have a machine that has a screw inside that lifts the fish from the pond to the container. The container has water inside. And this conveyor lift the fish and throw them to the container. And the fish are free falling from the conveyor to the container. And this picture I took right when the fish were falling from the conveyor to the container. So the blue color that you see is sky, is not water. The drops that you see is drops from the water and from the fish. And the fish are just free falling now into the container. So that was the situation. That is the situation that you see. But if I won't explain that, you might think that they're in the water or whatever you want to think or to feel. And it's okay, because it's, as the guest said, is what people see. This is another thing we like to see. We like to see colors, we like to see flowers, and we like to see a lot of them. So this is a field of color that we flowers that we have in the spring. We have few species of flowers that are red, and we have anemones. We have others, and this is sometimes in agriculture fields they just bloom for some reasons. The seeds are in the ground, and when you have the good conditions, they just suddenly bloom. After a year later, maybe you won't see anything. This is a baby chameleon on my finger. I found this baby chameleon in my car. I don't know how she got in. And before I let her free, I put her on the finger and took the photo with a macro lens that you can take pictures from very close to the object, and you can see a lot of details. So you can see my skin, my skin on the finger, and you can see the eye and the mouth and everything of the baby chameleon. Most people, when they see this picture was in an exhibition in Tel Aviv. It takes them a little time, few seconds to understand what they see. I mean, to understand what is the size of the baby chameleon. When you understand that this is a finger, you suddenly understand what is the size of the chameleon. And then there is a certain reaction of the people that look at this picture. This is a water snake we have in Israel. We have one species of these snakes in Israel. They live usually close to water, eating amphibians and fish. And this photo was taken in the fish pools in Gazelle Valley where they grow golden fish. And in the spring, when winter is over and start to get warmer, the small snakes are hatching and go live in the pools, feeding on the fish. And the fish are also growing because the mothers are laying eggs, the fish are hatching, the snakes are hatching, and they all try to eat. Now, what is usually happening is that they have feeders in the pools, and every 10 seconds they spread those feeders have a propeller that is spreading the food in the corner of the pool. Now the fish knows, they feel the vibration in the water. When the food fall into the water, they know that there is food. And the snakes knows that the fish are coming for the food. And it's very interesting to watch the process. Another thing that happened is that birds are coming to eat fish and also to eat snakes. So there's the whole chain, whole chain in the fish pond. And what you see here is a snake that catch the fish. When they do that, they quickly swim to the edge and disappear in the grass so they can eat without another snake grabbing it or a bird eating them and so on. And you really have a few seconds to try to get a good picture because it's happened very, very fast. And this is a hummingbird, a kind of hummingbird we have in Israel. We have only one. This is, if you remember the picture with the white waves and the black rock, and there's a strong contrast. So this is the opposite. This is, here you see something which is gentle. You see the birds and the background and the flowers of the tree are more or less the same color, or close families of color. And this is something that our eye likes very much. Something which is which you can say makes sense. Okay, something that the eye likes to see. It's nice for the eyes or for the mind to have something which is not, it's something which is gentle, something that is calm, something that makes you feel calm, not strong, not powerful, but very gentle. This is again in the northern part of Israel, the northern western point of Israel with the Lebanese border. We have only two places in Israel where limestone rock meets the ocean, the Mediterranean Sea. One is the Carmel Mountain and one is here. And I think that when you see the waves pushing or smashing on the limestone, so it creates a nice color and a nice sense of movement. Here is another fellow deer, and what I tried to express here is how a big and strong animal like this deer becoming very gentle when he is smelling this branch. Yeah, the end of the animal, okay, the nose of the animal, which is a gentle part, is smelling this little branch with little leaves. And that's what I tried to make people see in this picture. Another picture of the fellow deer. So I think in this picture, when I look at it, I think to myself, what this look or what these eyes are, it's a little, if you look of a picture like that of a lion or a leopard, you won't see, you will feel totally different. The eyes of these predators are looking, they're not looking at you, they're looking through you. But when you look at these eyes, you feel something totally different. That's what I think.
Liron, we have about 5 more minutes tops, so if you want to just get through the rest of the pictures.
Okay. So this picture is from the Golan Heights. And few years ago. And on this picture, I got all kinds of reactions that it's was made by Photoshop, that it's not from Israel, and all kinds of reaction. But it's you know, when I took this picture, I had a lawyer with me from the SPNI, so I'm so I can prove that it's not fake. So I want to show you some more things. Okay, I want to show you some pictures that I take at night, which is a totally different atmosphere. This is from Hula Valley. It's two pups of jackals at night. And these animals are curious. Usually small pups, small animals, they have curiosity and they come to check you. And if you don't spook them, we can have nice picture. This is a swamp cat that I encountered a few weeks ago. Was just walking towards me on the road, and I took some pictures.
For some reason, we call that a jungle cat in English.
Jungle cat, yeah. Jungle cat. Okay, let's see some short movies. This is Plover. Look at the chick. So they're wandering around looking for food, and every couple of minutes they come back for mom to get some warmth.
Wow. Liron, maybe I'll just ask you a couple questions while that came up.
Yeah.
First of all, was that a field of kalaniot, anemones, or poppies?
Bragim, poppies.
That's what I was voting for too in the discussion on the chats. I thought they were poppies. And are the water snakes invasive or native species?
No, they're native.
They're native.
This is in the Gazelle Valley in Jerusalem. Look at the young one. Suddenly he finds himself without mom, and he gets very confused. He doesn't know what to do, and then mom comes back. And everything is okay.
Everybody should come visit there. You can always see gazelles when you're there.
Yes. I don't have a lot of time. I want to show you some behind the scenes. This is a hide, and this is how sometimes nature photography is done. And you can see I have a camouflage net, and I build some, like a hide.
Is this what that gazelle was looking at? Wow. Is that what the gazelle was looking at?
Yeah.
Sitting up straight in the
so
field?
You see how it looks. It's in the summer. It's the camouflage net is in the colors of the surroundings. And this is the camera.
Liron, if you do that in the Jordan Valley, you don't worry you're not going to get shot?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, sometimes motorcycles or jeeps, they almost run you over because they don't see you.
Wow, you're dangerous.
So you can see here, this is I was photographing flamingos here, just lying on the ground with a camouflage net on my face, and it's enough. This is in the Golan Heights during snow. I don't know if you know this say from Rabbi Jacob Joseph of Polnea, but he says nature is the Shekhinah. When you look at nature, you see the Shekhinah.
The Shekhinah, which is the female attributes of God.
Right. So if I have a few more minutes, I want to show you.
Well, we still have 125 people watching on this. So I would say, there's 3 minutes left of the hour. I would say just keep showing photographs, and I'll say goodbye to everybody now. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Yael and Lucy, for and everybody who wrote in the chats what we were seeing and discussion of the various species of flora and fauna. Thanks, everybody, for letting us know where you're from. Really appreciate everybody staying and joining this whole really interesting hour. Thank you very much, Liron. I know we got a couple more photos to see, so we'll let you do that, but
yeah,
appreciate it very much. And thank you, David.
There's a lot of questions in the chat, so I don't know, maybe
I asked you them pretty much. And also can we get a copy of this webinar? I know this will be recorded and beyond, but maybe just the pictures itself, people have asked. So thank you. We will email us, and we can get you a copy of this. And of course, this whole webinar will be online probably tomorrow. And yes, it's a Palestine sunbird, not a hummingbird, by the way, Liron. I made that mistake with one of our supporters.
No, it's not a hummingbird. It's not.
No. It's like a hummingbird, and then it hovers, and it's tiny.
It's not a hummingbird. It's like
a hummingbird. Yes.
Hummingbird. Yeah.
Yes.
It's the same family, but it's not.
Yes. A lot of comments, Liron, about the animal behavior you were showing, which is really very interesting. Yeah, you should take a look at these the comments, and thank you very much. We really got just a couple minutes before the end of the hour, so thank you, everybody, for being here.
Okay.
And we'll be in touch.
Thank you very much.
Show us a couple more pictures. We got a couple more minutes. One more minute.
Just a minute. Want to show you a movie that I made in memory of the guy that was before me in the job that died last year. I hope I can. And I made this movie in memory of him. So this is something that I also do is short movies with music. And I think it's another dimension of nature photography. And I did that. I told you I did that for Yohanan, who was my friend and was working in SPNI for many years. And he was before me on the job for 23 years. And died unexpectedly last year. And in memory of him, I did this movie, which is photographed by most of the places that he was active in Nature Conservancy in the Northern District.
Wow.
And during the Shiva, I gave this movie to his family and to his wife, and they were very excited. They were very touched about it. So this is also something that I do. And if you want to see another short movie with
I think we're ready to go. We're way over the hour. So thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. But we, show us, let us have those movies afterwards. We can put them online or send them to people if they're interested.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Liron. Thanks, David. Thank you, everybody, for joining. More than 100 people still with us. Yeah, I'm just seeing if we missed any other questions. I think we got most of them answered. So thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
And, thank you, David.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.